Welcome to a conscious expanding journey where we tackle the deep question, are we really light beings with amnesia? My name is Matthew LaCroix, and together we will work to unlock the keys for the constructs behind reality and the holographic universe. So what is the holographic universe, and how do we know we are living in it? The answer lies in understanding the rules that govern all matter itself. Once you understand the defined laws or constructs behind them, like gravity, time, visible light, and cause and effect, the holographic universe comes to life. Remember, matter is simply an illusion. Becoming a student of the basics behind quantum physics allows the word holographic to take on a new meaning and represents a hidden world of vibrations and strings of energy that are all moving. The mathematical perfection behind its design can be seen in everything from a flower to an entire universe full of billions of spiral galaxies, all coming back to the Fibonacci sequence of design. Scattered among nearly infinite Earth-like worlds, the evolution of the creation of all species follows the laws laid down by the constructs of the creator of all. Let's take a deeper look. When you break down the universe to the laws and constructs designed behind it, you find a binary computer design based on certain vibrations and wavelengths that govern it. These represent the invisible strings of vibrating energy that control all matter. Those laws combine to form reality as we know it. Our home, planet Earth, is composed of nearly 70% water. It is a blue planet because of the abundance of hydrogen and oxygen. And looking at the correlation further, we find that human beings are also composed of about 70% water. In going over this material, we must see these strong correlations and connections for finding out who we really are. That lost connection has huge implications for understanding our energy and reaching our maximum conscious level. Remember, water has a specific vibration and wavelength that is unique to it. And to understand all of this, we must understand visible light first. To truly understand the holographic universe, we have to look at the visible light spectrum and understand what it really is saying. The visible light spectrum forms the framework for everything we know of in the holographic universe and our reality. The visible light spectrum contains 7 colors that make up the rainbow. Remember that number, as it has profound effects for who we really are. Notice that the higher on the visible light spectrum you go, the higher the frequency and vibration. Remember, matter is energy, and energy is light. The wavelength of the properties of that specific color will follow its frequency. If it's slower, like red, it'll equal a lower frequency and vibrational state. Meanwhile, blue, like water, is in a high wavelength frequency state on the complete other end of the spectrum. Where we fall in with utilizing our human energy and where we reside within this vibrational structure completely depends on our outcome of our conscious expansion. Just like red has a slower frequency, it also has a warmer temperature. This information is not taught in public school, and you have to ask the important question of why. This information is so fundamentally important that it defines reality for us. Blue would follow a cooler temperature, and its state and water makeup would represent that. The state that these wavelengths represent in physical matter can be seen in striking contrast to one another. We look at a volcano spewing out lava, and you see that it's in a slow, red frequency state. That represents its state of matter. On the other end, we see ice and snow in a frozen, high vibration state. We know that those represent completely different sides of the spectrum. And we as human beings fall in the mammal state versus the reptilian state if we are able to function in our highest place. We must realize that reptiles and mammals form this gap between the visible light spectrum from what we know of as red versus blue. Let's go a little further. 240 million years ago, the Earth had a much warmer climate, and dinosaurs evolved to dominate the planet. Most people don't really consider that enormous reptilian carnivores roamed the planet and survived for hundreds of millions of years. Compared to our time of less than 1 million years here, we are often overly ignorant of our past. We must understand the difference between a reptile and a mammal to know its energy and understand where it can function. What was once a hot and humid world dramatically changed when a cataclysm altered the climate of Earth 66 million years ago. An asteroid or comet slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula area, leading to the large reptiles dying off all over the Earth as the planet cooled. This cooling and extinction of the top predators of the food chain led to mammals being able to take over. Mammals do not require the heat of the sun for survival and could seek shelter underground. This marked a new timeline for Earth. The dinosaurs evolved into birds eventually and turned into the world we see now. What we need to understand is that our state of optimal functioning is that of a mammal, and that has huge implications for understanding ourselves. So let's look at the difference between a mammal and a reptile. It all comes down to the energy expenditures versus the temperature. Mammals have a high vibration and an internal energy source for heat, whereas reptiles require the warmth from the sun and have a very slow vibration and frequency. These states represent our ability to function optimally. What that means is that if a mammal is kept in a reptilian state, both physically and mentally, then it'll be blocked off from ever expanding to who they really are. Human beings are composed of about 70% of water. And if we look at the matching composition of Earth, we have to see the correlation between the two. Within our bodies exists a flowing electric current. Our matching wavelength and vibration is that of blue. Not functioning in our optimal state will prevent us from waking up. We must understand our ancient past and what happened to our DNA to cause us to be in the place that we're in now. Our DNA was clamped and altered so that much of it could be unplugged from our double helix. That represents the state of amnesia that we currently exist in. All of these rules and constructs for understanding ourselves and the reality around us represent our own awareness of waking up. The specific vibration and frequency of a being will directly translate to their state of energy. This represents the cause and effect of how a species utilizes their time. Developing awareness of the importance of what living in the moment does and striving to expand consciousness will change everything in reality. Look today all around us at the electronic devices we so depend on, from TVs to telephones. It can be shocking to consider and realize that they all emit a slow red frequency. We have to wonder what this does to our conscious and physical state. Do you think this is on purpose, perhaps? If there is an ancient lie for our history and who we really are, then a way to control that would be to control consciousness. You could keep people completely asleep to the truth. If we are kept in a slow frequency red state, slowing down our vibration, we will become enslaved. You will no longer function as your intended state of energy was. When functioning like this, you become what is known as asleep. That is how we have amnesia of who we really are. A violent past of destruction and suppression has nearly hid all of the knowledge of who we are in the past. Is it any coincidence then that the elites controlling ancient history and our suppression of consciousness through food, water, social systems, and money are known as the Rothschilds? The name Rothschild directly translates to mean red shield. We must have the courage to look into the evidence to know the truth about what governs our reality. We cannot shy away from this information any longer. The Rothschild family represents the protectors of our red root chakra system and our consciousness all along. Contained within the human body are the important chakra centers that represent our keys to our conscious evolution. Notice that we have 7 matching chakras, with the red being the lowest, that represent and correlate exactly with the 7 colors in the visible light spectrum. As we unlock our chakra centers, each matching chakra represents a different state of waking up and awareness. The red root chakra is the hardest chakra to free yourself from because it represents the reality constructs from our subconscious. Breaking through our root chakra is the most difficult thing we can do in our lives because it represents reforming reality and waking up. Understanding these chakras in visible light will lead to all the answers we need. The keys to a high vibration is found by achieving optimal physical health and energy through unlocking the chakra systems of light within us. As we progress up the rainbow of our evolution towards our identity, we change into a light being. We must not run away from this fact any longer. The spark within us, known as the Ba energy we possess, is the reason for so much of the suppression and violence in our past. Not all beings in the universe possess this spark, and we are often used for that energy by the means of the artificial illusion of money and material wealth. You realize much of it is simply a distraction from being able to wake up and find the truth of who we really are. In the end, we must realize we are really light beings who are just trying to find our way back to source. In the end, it comes down to red and blue, which will determine our very future here, with a life of ignorance or truly becoming a being of light. Our very future depends on it. Help carry on the torch of truth and raise consciousness for so many around us that need help. It is our jobs to have the courage to stand up and look at the evidence and find out who we really are and what happened in our past. Please find my book, The Illusion of Us, The Suppression and Evolution of Human Consciousness on Amazon, where I go deep into this information and expand much further to include our entire history and future. Thank you so much for watching.